Hey there, you guys. Happy Thursday. It's Throwback Thursday, so with that being said, I figured I would just finally do a makeup tutorial and show you guys my probably 15-minute makeup sesh and talk about IVF and our blessing twins. I just want to first let you guys know the foundation I'm using is Cover FX. Use whatever foundation works for you that blends in with your skin. I'm not great at makeup tutorials, but I'm just showing you guys what works for me and how quick it is for me to do my makeup. So here you go. So we're going to just gently put the foundation on. Make sure your sponge is a little damp so that way it blends in. I'm gonna have to get a brighter light. But anyway, so yeah, let's talk IVF. Let's talk the things that I would have known and if I would have moved forward with going through with it, if I really understood what I was going through. Me and Bren actually talked about this yesterday. And if I knew the amount of pain, like honestly, if I had felt the pain before I went through it and understood how long it was going to take me to go through it, like honestly really understood. Like, it's one thing when somebody tells you something, but the actual endurance of it, you know, I probably would have done it again, but I really would have had to think twice and mentally prepare myself and probably plan really far ahead if possible, because working a new job and giving yourself shots while you have morning sickness is not probably the brightest idea, and it's not fun at all. You know, so you guys probably don't know, I kept everything pretty quiet because when you're going through IVF, it's already hard enough to go through the process, like the medication, all that stuff, the hormones. It's hard enough to go through that, like, as it is. So just blend everything in. I don't even know if you guys can see just because it's kind of not bright. I need to get one of those makeup lights. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, preparing yourselves for the process is probably a really good idea. Setting that time aside because just to heal, because I was working full time while I was getting my shots and going to all my appointments. And then when I found out I was pregnant, I actually had just started a new job, a new firm, working under one of the top partners at the firm with morning sickness, and I didn't want to let them know that I was sick because, or that I was pregnant, because I didn't want them to think I was there temporarily, you know. Plus, I wanted to prove to myself that I could get through it, but it was hard. It was so hard. So anyways, once you finish your foundation and you rub it in everywhere, we're gonna go to our highlight and contour. So it's like 2-in-1. I don't know where you get it, but you can look it up. A highlight and contour combo that's great for your skin. Normally people put it on before they put their foundation on. I put it on afterwards. I don't know why. I just like to, I feel like it blends in better. So I just angle it on my cheek, like lower jawbone on both sides. A little line here on the nose. Little nose definition. We're gonna do the cheeks. And round about at the top a little. Give you a little bit of color. So, back to our IVF. Yeah, so I was giving myself shots every day through 10 weeks up to my pregnancy. We're going to blend this in with your sponge. So, you're just going to blend it in. Yeah, I was giving myself shots up to 10 weeks of pregnancy, and that was hard because my boss didn't know I was in pain. We had an upstairs apartment at the time, so I had to walk up the stairs and try to work out, all while I'm giving myself these thick shots. Sometimes it was 2 shots a day, sometimes it was just 1 shot a day, sometimes it was every other day. And like I said, the hormones alone, just being pregnant and having to give yourself shots, like, that's some torment. Like, that's torture. That's really torture. But, you know, when you're determined and you really love somebody, you do it you never thought you would do before. So, you know, and I would never take it back. Like, once you do it, once you get through it and you're not dead, because you're not going to die, you just realize how strong you are as a woman and that you can get through almost anything. So just the shots, just the appointments, the results, it takes a toll. It really does. It's emotionally draining. It's physically draining on top of life itself and everything you have going on. Sidetrack. So once you're done, you know, blending everything in, we're going to go to our blush. So I got mine from Sephora. I just got their basic generic one. Really cheap. You know, cheap is good for me. So, you know, the pregnancy was a blessing, but we didn't get pregnant right away. And that was hard. Working full time. I had my 9-year-old. We were trying to adjust to being in South Carolina. While go through this process, probably like a year and a half in, and you just want to like pat, blend it in. And guys, we'll see how this looks because it's the first time I'm doing it, so wish me luck. Yeah, so you could do it if you really put your mind to it. That's all I can say. You can do it if you put your mind to it. So we blended in everything. I don't do a lot with the eyes and stuff because I feel like, well, you want a more natural look. I personally want a more natural look. And honestly, the more you have around the eyes, the more chances you have for infections and stuff. So I just try to keep that area as clean as possible. Yeah, so the pregnancy, morning sickness sucked. I had morning sickness all the way up to, I think, 12 weeks of pregnancy. I'm going to sit here and use the gold. You can use whatever colors, but gold's my go-to color for everything. It pretty much goes with everything. If you want to add a little flavor, we'll do a little rose gold too, since my shirt's a little rock and roll. And you know, when I found out I was pregnant with twins, I knew that we were going to possibly be able to conceive with twins, but I didn't know it was going to happen. And I actually skipped forward. So when I found out, the first time we went through IVF, the first cycle, when I went through the surgery, when they take your eggs out and stuff, that first cycle, we were not successful. And that was probably the hardest time for me. Nobody knows this, but that was the hardest time for me as a person emotionally and mentally, because I was working, I was doing hormones, I went and did a blood test, and for like 8 hours, not only are you waiting to find these results, but also 2 weeks prior to that, you know that that's that time frame of conception. So it kind of eats you alive. Nobody understands that unless you really go through it. But yeah, so that was hard. That was definitely hard. And, you know, I wanted to kind of give up, but I felt like, you know, I've gotten this far and we've put all this work into it. I feel like we need to give it one more shot. And that's what we did. We went for it one more time. And this was the last time, because you have this dream of having a family and growing, and you want it so bad, but you don't want to throw your whole future away to have that, you know, and knowing in your mind that you might have to let go of that, you have to really come to terms with that, you know. But looking forward, like I said, we didn't want to go in debt trying to grow our family as bad as we wanted to, you know. So we did a lot of praying. It really helped bring us closer together. I'm going to take the red and go on the inside of the eye. And the second time around, you know, we put 2 in, and I was the crazy person that said to do it, but, you know, I felt like if you're gonna pay all that money and if I'm gonna go through all this pain just for a possibility of nothing, then I better up my chances. And so that was hard for us to decide too, because you gotta think, we're gonna possibly be having 2 huge responsibilities. And that was really hard for my husband, because he was already doing a great job with Nala and taking on that role and being an amazing stepfather, and just coming out of nowhere having to do that. I give him a lot of credit for that. And so have that on his plate and to do that, I give him a lot of credit, even though it was hard for him. But I know now he would never take the girls back. Like, they're his pride and joy. So happiness comes from a lot of places, and it humbled me a lot. Sometimes you go through these things, God, you're like, why God, why me? And then you get out of it and you realize, well, he has a plan for you, and maybe he wanted me to go through this to be more humble and more empathetic to life and situations and learn my own lessons. But also I was, you know, have my blessings in return. You know, the girls, like, you know, they make me work twice as hard, but they give me twice as much joy. So, you know, there was a lot on my plate, and I think I just said, I'm going to eat whatever's on my plate and enjoy my food. Thank you for giving me what I have. Thank you for allowing us to conceive, and instead of nothing, giving us these 2 blessings, and I don't have to go through the pregnancy again. I'm like one and done. So that's kind of exciting. So yeah, I did my makeup. You see, it looks very neutral. If you want to clean it up a little bit, throw some lip gloss on. I'm going to finish my segment because I said I was going to do 15 minutes. And I wish I had some lip gloss on right now, but I wasn't prepared for that. So the twin pregnancy, I didn't realize I was going to have to, or I was going to be considered high risk. But apparently that's an all-around thing. So not only was I working full-time, I was going to my normal appointments, and I was going to my high-risk appointments. And my husband was awesome and came to as many as he possibly could, which is probably the majority of them. See, look at that. A little bit of makeup, guys, will make your morning, make you feel great, make you look great. Just flail a little bit. Yes, honey, yes. Yes. I just need some lip gloss. Let's see if I can find some real quick in my purse while I'm talking to you guys. And, you know, from that point on, I was ecstatic. I was blessed. I wanted to prove to myself that I could get through this pregnancy and be active and do, you know, Nala, my pregnancy with Nala was great, but I want to do better. You know, I want to always move forward and grow, and if I could do something better this pregnancy, then I was game for that. Also to show my daughter and set an example of how you should be, or just showing her as a woman, you know, this is what a woman goes through, and this is how you're supposed to adapt and react to certain situations. No one's perfect. Found some lip gloss. So, we fast forward. Found out I was going to have a C-section because my water broke. And I was scared. I knew I was going to have a C-section. I didn't want to have a C-section. I was so against it. I was in denial. I did everything I could, guys, everything I could to not have a C-section. I did yoga. I stayed active. And these babies just did not want to turn for their mama. So it was like 3 days after I finally took off work for maternity leave. I worked through my whole pregnancy. And 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought I peed on myself. But it wasn't pee. and my water never broke with all, so I've never experienced it. I go to the bathroom and I'm like, yep, my water broke, babe, and he freaked out. It was the cutest thing ever, though. He was geared up, ready to go. He got us to the hospital, got Nala downstairs to our neighbor, and handled it like a boss. And, you know, me, you know, when my water broke, I wasn't rushing. I was just like, I'm going to take my time and take a shower because I know when I get to the hospital, I'm going to be stuck. And I even asked him if he wanted to take a shower. He probably thought I was crazy. But, hands down, probably one of the best experiences of my life in terms of the pregnancy, in terms of my health, in terms of the hospital, East Cooper Medical Center in South Carolina is probably one of the best hospitals. Their NICU center was amazing with our girls. They were so supportive and encouraging, and that whole process was exhausting on its own, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. We can talk about that on another day because Mama's got to get to her girls, and I just wanted to give you guys a little snippet of my life in Momming It Like a Boss, and how I do my makeup, and, you know, little things that get me through these exciting days with the girls. So, ta-da, and you guys have a blessed Thursday. Bye. Hey guys, so I knew I was going to forget something. I actually forgot to do the very last step of my tutorial, which was add the highlighter and contour duo. That highlighter, you want to add some finishes at the end. So I do a little bit on the cheekbone, on the nose, a little bit on the lip, just to add a little bit of glitter and glam to your life. But that's it. So my bad, guys. Have a blessed day, and hopefully you don't have to see my face again.